Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. Why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it.
So it's completely insane to me that the British Bashing Corporation is digging its heels in, does not want to settle with Donald Trump, even though that clock is ticking ahead of the 10 p.m. UK time deadline on Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Now, I have learned through my reporting overnight exactly what Donald Trump is prepared to accept financially in a settlement with the BBC. I'll reveal all in just one moment, but first I want to show you his first public comments on this matter overnight to Laura Ingraham on Fox News. Watch.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. Why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This
both
is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. This is supposedly our great ally, BBC. The government has a chunk of that one, I guess, but that's a pretty sad event. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical, and they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people.
Okay, so I've got some news to make on this. Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show. My US sources very close to Donald Trump, including his legal team, have revealed that Donald Trump wants $15 million from the BBC. $15 million. That is £11 million, as well as an apology to take legal action off the table. Now, remember, Trump had not even demanded resignations, despite the fact that Tim Davie and Deborah Turness are both out. And I'm told he is yet to even receive acknowledgement from the BBC Council of his threat to sue. So, Father Calvin Robinson, Bernie Spofford, let me bring you in here. To me, Father Calvin, it is a no-brainer. I mean, okay, yes, there are people saying, well, the BBC will win in a Florida court. But the risk of that, Father Calvin, is massive. I mean, you could actually argue, given Trump is saying he's suing for $1 billion or that he will sue for $1 billion, it would be a £700 million gamble for the British Bashing Corporation. Now, I know there's some people like you and me who actually want the BBC to take this risk and then be forced to shut down. But you know what would happen, Calvin? Slippery Starmer, would just end up bailing the BBC out with more of our money. So, to me, an £11 million settlement, a full and wholesome apology to Donald Trump, makes sense. What do you think?
I want to see it go to court.
I knew you were going to say that.
I want to see the BBC found guilty of the crimes they continuously commit, slandering, libeling, manipulating the truth. The whole...
And imagine the discovery,
thing.
Calvin. Imagine the discovery, the emails, what we would find.
It's an atrocious organization. They're not journalists. They're not professional in the true sense of the word in reporting. They control the narrative. They manipulate the narrative. And they've messed with the wrong guy this time. They've messed with the biggest, most famous, one of the richest people in the world. They're going to suffer the consequences, and rightly so. And if it costs them a lot, good. If it means the BBC is shut down, good. If it doesn't, at least people will know not to trust them in the future.
But Bernie Spofford, from a BBC business point of view, the arrogance to be leaving it this late, to even acknowledge the letter, to seemingly thinking that they can play fast and loose when they don't have a director general, they don't have a CEO of news. I mean, they're mad, aren't they? But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. He says they hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? Well, so that he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He says it's almost like Photoshop for your face, and you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he says if it even helps one person look younger or feel more confident, he will be thrilled knowing he helped. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One viewer commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you." So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing that Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
Well, isn't that just the arrogance of lawyers? And also, Father Calvin, brilliant. Yeah, but isn't that just the arrogance of lawyers? So he's got till 10 o'clock on Friday night to reply. So at 9:30 on Friday night, they'll reply and say, yes, we've received your correspondence. That's just how it works.
But that's not going to be good enough for Trump, though, is it? He doesn't play by these rules.
No. And I would also like to see the BBC in court. And from a business point of view, let me just say here, because it is quite interesting, the BBC employ 22,000 people, right? Of those 22,000 people, 2,000 of them work on the private sector side, on the commercial division, which means 20,000 people are being fed by the taxpayer. And the hilarious thing is that 1/3 of its entire revenue comes from those 2,000 people. It is a public sector quango, I would say. It's incredibly arrogant. It absolutely needs to be broken up. It needs to face the same risks any other private sector business does. Calvin's exactly right. Take them to court, because the Donald Trump information, as you rightly say, in disclosure would be incredibly interesting. And the public would then be able to see exactly how they're being manipulated, not only over Trump, but yeah, let's go back to COVID and the masks and the lockdowns.
Yes.
Let's look at all the climate.
All of their trans madness.
Yeah. And all of the climate stuff and all of that madness. I want to see full disclosure. And if it breaks up the BBC, then do you know what? It was quite good in the 70s. I quite like Call My Bluff. It was good. But apart from that, all I see now are repeats
Bernie,
and propaganda.
all of these people who keep talking about, oh, it was so good in the 70s and the 80s. Okay, you were shielding at the time the world's biggest ever paedophile, by the way, in Jimmy Savile.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry, I just refuse to hark back to what was this apparent golden days. No, the BBC was effectively operating a paedophile ring, and right up until Hugh Edwards recently. But of course, those in the elite class want to turn this into a new culture war issue. Look at this post from Deborah Meaden. I couldn't believe it. She wrote, and obviously she was the former Dragon's Den woman, wasn't she? When Tommy Robinson is calling for the end of the BBC, you know it is doing something right. But as Tommy said, Father Calvin, you were on the wrong side here. Not me, Deborah, but it just shows you how pathetic their arguments are.
That's really sad, isn't it? Like, I don't agree with Tommy on everything, but just because he is against the BBC, what, everyone else should be for it? That's an absurd argument. But I think you are both right in that the BBC is so arrogant. And I think the reason why is they've never faced any consequences. with the Martin Bashir fraud over Princess Diana, with the COVID lies, with the NHS lies, with Hugh Edwards, with covering up for Jimmy Savile. All across the decades, they've been corrupt and complicit in evil, and they've never faced any consequences because they're too big in the United Kingdom, and the government needs them. And as we saw over COVID, they are an arm of propaganda for the government, and so there are no consequences here. But
Totally, but I
President
really
Donald Trump
liked.
is outside of that.
Absolutely. I
Really
really liked
false
what Matt
consequences on them.
Letizia had to say about this. He wrote, "It's been mildly amusing to watch people who rely on the BBC for their wages deny all sense of reality and bring up all sorts of straw man arguments to justify why the BBC should still exist. Its reputation is in tatters and no amount of falling from left-wing lovies is going to rescue it. The game's up. The propaganda is too obvious." And Bernie, I think he is right. This is going to be a long, slow, painful decline.
And for me, what I think is hilarious are all of those people protecting the BBC, saying it's not biased. They're all on the progressive, liberal side of the argument. And all you need to do is dig down into the numbers, because they spent £158,000 on the Guardian newspaper, which was double any amount they spent on any other newspaper. Now, if you want to be unbiased and you want to be middle ground and you want to give a good argument, then you would think that there would be equal purchasing of newspapers so you could give both sides of the argument, right? But they don't do that, and they don't recognize their bias because they all think the same way.
Yeah, I mean, Father Calvin, you have been one of the original campaigners for defund the BBC, but it's so interesting, isn't it, Father Calvin? Like loads of your campaigns, it's mainstream now. It wasn't when you started, but this is now just a mainstream position.
This is the problem of being ahead of the curve, isn't it? Absolutely. I was the face of defund the BBC campaign back in the day, and we had loads of people who were on our side, but it was ahead of the curve. And we knew that Boris Johnson was on our side. We knew that Dominic Cummings was on our side, and we may well have got it done if it wasn't for COVID, which came and messed up the entire situation with that particular Conservative government. And from then onwards, it looked like we'd never get it done. But now, finally, with the vast majority of people finally waking up to how corrupt the BBC is, maybe we will finally defund the BBC.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.